attention. Salute. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good to see everyone out tonight. We just had a few-hour work session where we talked about the budget and a lot of future plans for the school system. And we'll be reviewing a few of those tonight during this regular meeting, but there was much discussion during the work session itself. This time, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. And then when we approve the agenda, you're also approving the consent agenda. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I so move.
Dr. Rouse makes a motion, second. Second by Mr. Price. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next on the agenda is the public comment session. No one signed up to speak on the agenda items. Now we go to communications to the board from the Director of Schools.
Good afternoon, good evening, Board. And it's a great joy to see all of you here this evening. This is certainly one of our favorite board meetings of the year because we have so much student recognition. And the board, as well as myself, we certainly enjoy recognizing our students for their achievements and their sponsors and their teachers. So thanks to all of you for being here this evening. We're happy that you're here. We don't have much of 22-23 left. Someone told me the other day we had, just 2 days ago, we had 15 and a half days left, and I said, no, I don't think you're right. They ended up bringing out a calendar, and they proved to me that yes, they were right. And I'm sure that many of you here in this room know exactly how many days of school were left. But I didn't. I want to bring your attention to, we have 2 celebrations coming up at the end of this month, our high school graduations. At Sullivan East High School on May 25th. We will be graduating seniors at 7 p.m. Then on May 26th at West Ridge High School, we will be graduating seniors at 8 p.m. Very significant milestone in many of our young people's lives. We will be graduating over 700 students, and many of which have already earned industry certifications, industry certificates, and even associate's degrees from Northeast State. Very significant accomplishments, and I applaud all of our graduates this year. Congratulations to them. This past Monday, the nation celebrated National Principals Appreciation Day. We certainly are blessed here in Sullivan County with our principals and assistant principals, our administrators. They do a great job, and it's one of those jobs that's on many days thankless, but I want them to know, and I know that you all would applaud their efforts as well. It is a very difficult job. They're putting in very long hours, and many days when they walk in, they have a plan for the day, but that goes in the trash can. That can change in a hurry. So they're very talented, and I'm very appreciative of the administrators that we have in Sullivan County Schools. And I would like to acknowledge them and say thank you publicly for a job well done. Next week is Teacher Appreciation Week across the United States. Many activities will be going on throughout the year to recognize our educators, not only here, but across the nation. Our teachers have a very difficult job as well. They work very hard. Their hearts are in the right place because that's why they're here. They're here because of what they are happy to do, and that is to educate our students. But there's a lot more to educating our students, and for them, I'm most appreciative. So as we enter next week, those of you that are here, please be sure and say thank you to your teachers. many of which are in this room here this evening, supporting you as you get recognized. And lastly, next Wednesday, May 10th, is School Nurse Appreciation Day. I was at a nurse, I was at a school the other day and talking to a nurse, and it was not even lunchtime yet, and she had already seen 62 students. I don't think anyone has any idea at the number of students they see during the day, and for many different reasons. Some are for procedures that are scheduled daily, and others just to take care of a runny nose or a headache or something even more serious. But many thanks to our nurses. I'm very appreciative that here in Sullivan County we have been able to staff all of our schools with a school nurse and also a school resource officer. We are very fortunate, and I'm very thankful that we are able to do that. So with that being said, I'm going to come down front as we have lots of student and some employee recognition this evening. So this is the exciting time in our program, and I look forward to recognizing those that are here with us tonight. And please know how much I appreciate that you take the time to respond to our invitation by being here this evening. Thank you, and you look beautiful, so thank you for being here this evening. Amber, would you come and
Thank you. So I'm going to get the opportunity to recognize some of our cafeteria personnel for their excellence. Okay. They received a 100 on both of their health inspections, which is not easy. So we've got 6 schools we get to recognize. We do have some who couldn't make it tonight for other obligations, but we want to recognize them anyway. So I'll start reading off the names, and the ones that are here, if y'all will come up and get your certificate, and we'll take some pictures with you. Not in attendance tonight from Central Heights Elementary, Angie Taylor, Shelley Herndon, and Lori Bowers. And I'll make sure they get those. Indian Springs Elementary, Rebecca Nouns, Kimberly Hall, and Nicole Murray. And we'll skip the next few. All right. And then Rock Springs, not in attendance, Becky James, Lisa Gillum, Annie White, and Jamie Bitten. Sullivan Heights, not in attendance, Beth Burke, Cheryl Doran, Patsy Christian, Terry Christian, and Stephanie Doggett. For ladies who are here tonight, we have Ketron Elementary, Brittany Glover, Laura Gregg, Helen Thompson, and also with Ketron but wasn't able to be here tonight is Alicia Warner, Teresa Galloway, Melanie Ramey, and Brenda Fox. And then our last school, and she might be here, I can't see in the sea of people, we've got Sullivan Elementary, Tammy McCracken. There she is. And not able to be here tonight with her was Ashley Ibsen, Linda Martin, and Connie Bachman. Hey, Miss Tammy.
While Tammy's coming up here, I do want to say something. You know, our ladies in our cafeteria come in very early and start preparing meals for our students, from breakfast and lunch. I've had the pleasure of eating in our cafeterias many times. They're very gracious, they're very kind, and they do a great job. It is not easy for a health inspector when they come in for our cafeteria to always get 100. But these cafeterias that were just mentioned and the ladies that are here, they represent staffs that on both visits from health departments, they got a 100. I don't know how many of you frequent restaurants and look at that little sheet of paper on the wall. I don't know about you, but I don't see many 100s. In fact, I can't recall ever seeing a 100. But if you walk into our cafeterias, you're going to see nothing lower than a 95. So I applaud our cafeteria ladies for the job they do every day. They work really hard. They do a great job. But more than that, they love what they do. They love being there to serve and take care of our kids. So thank you very much. And if you would, join me in thanking you. Thank you, Amber. Amber does a great job. She is their coordinator over school nutrition, and she does a great job as well. So many thanks to her. The next group of students that I would like to recognize are our Special Olympics Unified Basketball Team. I'd like to ask Teresa, would you like to come up and say a few things?
Oh, geez.
Come on.
That's it.
They've come with their uniforms on. I'd like to ask Teresa Neal if she will say just a few things about this special group of youngsters.
This is a really exciting opportunity we have at Westridge. It is unified basketball that we competed in this past year and the year before. This year, we made it all the way to the state and won the state in our division.
Right.
So we're state champions of Westridge, but it's more than just the basketball. We have other unified activities for the school. We're also recognized this year as a National Unified School Award winner. So that's huge. That means we have our special ed students paired up with our gen ed students, and the beautiful friendships they make, the things that they do in school are just amazing. It's just a real special time for them all. So,
And we want to make it even more special for them tonight because we want to recognize our special education students who are our basketball players, and then their other team members who have helped coach them and play with them and develop their skills. And those are other students that are here with them tonight. So,
and I might say, when we went to the state and when we play games, some of this, our peer helpers, partners, they were really surprised. They're like, oh my gosh, we've got to really play. It was serious business. They can let you know for sure.
and I don't know, but I had the great opportunity to get to actually watch the team play at Westridge. So it was a very good experience. I'm really happy to recognize them this evening. So alongside here, is Cole Pascali here?
He's not.
Okay, some may not be here. And is Casey Raleigh here? All right, Casey, come on up. And my goodness, they're wearing their masks. All right, we've got something special for you, a jersey. I want you to come right here and stand. And he's got quite a few medals. You can tell he's really done a good job. Brady Edwards. Yeah. Ethan Maynard.
Yeah.
Grace Neal. Lift them up. There you go. But she's got enough. She may share with you. Gabriel Ronhart. Is Seth Goad here, our manager? Come on. What about their partners or their coaches or their team, other team members that work alongside with them? Kel Bryant. Houston Sherfy. Ashton Waller. Josh Cito. Okay, he's playing baseball tonight. Well, let's hope they win. Jeremiah Kirkpatrick. Also this evening, their coaches is Tony Seymour here. Stay up here. I'm going to have, you may have to say a few words here in a minute. Kiefer Parker. And Bentley Price. I'm going to ask Coach Seymour if he will tell us a little bit about their experience. I know that they got to travel and do a few things, so if you want to tell us a little bit about their experience.
It's my second year doing it. It was amazing. First year, got down to Nashville, had a free storm. Didn't get to play when we went down, so we had to come back. Fortunate enough to end up playing all year. I got to hear Coach, are we, and I'm so glad it's but Casey reminds me every time that there's a game next year. We got to go to ETSU and watch a basketball game down there. The good people at ETSU kind of got a decent deal to come down there and bring them. First time I ever watched a collegiate basketball game. It was a very good experience. Luckily, they missed 2 free throws, and we all got Chick-fil-A. It's just been a great season. Every single one of them, from the peers to these guys over here, they don't give up. That they go out, and it doesn't matter what the score is. A little bit, we are competitive. Don't get me wrong. But the biggest thing is they came as one. They played, and there was 5 on the court, and they all played as one. And you couldn't ask for anything better than that. If you ever get the experience to do something like this, please be involved in something like that. It's very humble. I'm very humble. Thank you so much for allowing me to coach.
Thank you.
Thank you for dealing with me sometimes. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you. I didn't run you guys too much, did I?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This is a great group. I applaud their efforts. Thank you so much to everyone for your part in this and making this such a memorable season for our West Ridge Unified basketball team. Thank you. The next group of students I'd like to recognize are a group, another group from Westridge. They are the majorettes. This group of young ladies, and I'm going to bring them up first, and then I'll talk about their accomplishments. First, I'm not real sure who all's here. Again, there's lots of things going on with track, baseball, softball, so we'll see how many are here. Is Kennedy Akert here? And Brooklyn Baker? Taylor Buckingham? Lacey Coleman? Jasmine Judkins? Aubrey Mason? Hannah Milhorn? Carly Mitchell?
She's a professional concert.
There we go. And Sarah Mons. All right. And is Candace here? Come on up, Candace, if you'll come right here with them. Well, first off, thank you all for being here. You look beautiful this evening. You're kind of missing, though, the main thing, the baton, but we'll excuse that. This group of majorettes placed first in the DMA Tennessee State Twirling Championships in both high school line division and also large team show twirl, and received an award for most outstanding team out of 15 teams for the state. I'd like to ask Candace if she'd take just a minute. I love putting them on the spot. To tell us a little bit about this group of young ladies, how much they have worked and how this experience was for them.
I apologize if I get emotional. So I'm a little attached to all of them. I've been teaching almost every young lady here since they were very little. Kennedy started when she was 6 years old. Sarah started when she was about 8 or 9. But they've all been twirling at least since 6th or 7th or 8th grade. So we've been preparing for a long time is kind of an understatement. But last year, since band camp all the way through marching band, basketball season, we performed at basketball games. We actually performed our show twirl that we competed with at the basketball games at Westridge. So they have been preparing with the same routine since December, and we competed locally in the SEPA indoor.
So, performance circuit.
Thank you. And we won the SEPA twirling champions for that as well, which is a local indoor competition circuit. And then we decided to go ahead and go on to state. And I'm just so proud of each and every one of them for all the practice and the hours and the time that they put in. They're all absolutely just amazing young ladies. So.
Thank you, and thank you very much, Candace, for everything that you do to sponsor these young ladies. I've gotten to see them perform several times. They do a great job. Congratulations on your achievement at state championships, and thank you very much for being here this evening.
And if I could just say, Hannah here, she is also the color guard instructor at Westridge, and so she helps out a lot with them too. So thank you, Hannah, for helping us as well.
Thank you very much, Hannah. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Always at this board meeting, we're getting to the point where our state CTE competitions have come to a close, and those students who have finished as gold medalists are getting ready and preparing for the national contests, which are in Atlanta. So at this time, I'd like to recognize and ask Jennifer Wilburn from West Ridge and also Rick James from East to come up with me as we recognize our CTE champions, our career and technical education students who have achieved at the highest level. When we talk about career and technical education and these competitions, Skills USA, when they go to their state competitions, there are literally tens, 20s, hundreds students there competing. I've gotten to go to the state competitions before, and I've gotten to go to the national competitions before, and that is really exciting to watch and see the skills that our young people display as a result of what they've been working on in their high schools. So this evening, we are going to recognize our medalists. I think we have some that have got their medals with them tonight, and we want to congratulate all of them. So first, I would like to first recognize from West Ridge, Lloyd Putney, who is here as the sponsor. Come on up, Lloyd. And recognize the chapter display team. Tyler Crawford, Eric Haynes, and Corbin Henley. Okay, and we were silver medalist. You want to tell us a little bit about the chapter display? That's a cupcake.
Yeah.
Tasty cupcake.
Those are mine, aren't they?
You got it. You did when I did.
So can you just in 60 seconds tell me a little bit about your chapter display?
It took us about 3 or 4 months to build, and we had all kinds of help from all the annex classes that we got up there, from welding to the carpentry and even the digital arts class we got down there. And it was a big group effort, so I don't want to take all of it.
You're the only one here.
All right, so the next group I'd like to recognize is also from West Ridge, and Jason Sandiford is our team sponsor, our teacher. I think I saw him earlier. Mr. Sandiford, don't hide. I think
I'm hiding.
yes, come on up here, Mr. Sandiford. I'm pretty sure I saw you. Those that we're recognizing with him tonight are with Digital Cinema, Jameson Case and Katrina Stidham, as well as photography, Jackson Moore. We know Jameson pretty well because he's always at our board meetings and work sessions doing the filming. We want to say congratulations to them. Jason, do you care to tell us their medals?
Yeah. Jackson went and competed for photography, and he took home gold, first place, which is awesome for him. First time competing, I think, with anything photography related, but he's been doing photography pretty heavily for the past year. I'm not going to take all the credit, but when he came to my class, he was just starting off on like point and shoot cameras, didn't really know how to work the settings, and now gold medalist. So super proud of him and really impressed with everything he's been doing. And then Jameson and Katrina, they've been some of my stars as far as the streaming things, and we've competed in some short film competitions where they've won awards there too. And we've also never competed in digital cinema before, so we didn't know what to expect. So once again, very impressed that they went and we got second. So really proud of that.
Congratulations. Emily Robinette, you'll come up, please. And also coming up to join her will be Hunter Vermillion, Kaylee Joyner, Emma Johnson, Connor Manning, and Peyton Nelson. And I'm going to ask Ms. Robinette if she'll take a few minutes to inform us about this group of students.
Okay, well, these are some special students to me. The HOSA competition doubled this year in people who were competing. There were over 2,500 students competing at state this year, and I had the privilege of working with Hunter, and he got second place in sports medicine. And then our creative problem solving group, Emma Johnson, Connor Manning, and Peyton Nelson got second in the state. And I want them to tell just a little bit about what they did. Tell me.
Most of my competition involved taping, so I had to learn to take the shoulder, ankle, wrist, and shoulders.
He also had to take a test that he competed against many students, and he did a great job. Very proud of him. What can you all
So our team, we were given a topic to which we had 30 minutes to prepare for. We put in the room, we were given markers and a board, like a piece of paper that we used for the school project. And we had to come up with a presentation and a solution to the problem at hand. I believe our problem was something with how
How did you treat or raise awareness for mental health issues?
Yeah. They provided us with some basic information, but ultimately it was up to us to come up with a creative, out-of-the-box solution using real-world experiences from all three of us and the information given. We were able to present. We had 8 minutes to present. After our presentation, we had the award ceremony the next day, to which we found out we placed second.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all of our West Ridge winners. Thank you. The next group we're going to recognize are our CTE winners from East High School. I know Mr. Boomershine's here, so come on up, Mr. Boomershine. I was in his classroom the other day, and he was going over the Kennedy assassination and doing a really good job. So, this evening, joining us up here is Dory Booker, Caitlin Winters, Sunny Beach, Donovan Freeman. Come on up, we have some gold medalists. I see the gold hanging around their neck. So, Mr. Boomershine, would you take just a few minutes and share their experience with us?
Yeah, we competed at Skills in Chattanooga, and my crime scene team, they were asked or given a real-world scenario where they have a crime scene with a vehicle and a mannequin inside the vehicle that's deceased, and their job was to gather information, take photographs, collect evidence, DNA, hair fibers, blood samples, take all the proper measurements, complete a crime scene drawing, had to do a written narrative. Prior to that, you took a written test, and then when all that shakes out, they only have an hour to do all that. And they submit that, and they're judged on their, first of all, the written test gets them there, and then the crime scene, they evidently did very well. They took gold there, and they'll be going on to Atlanta next month for the national championship there for the crime scene. And then Donovan here is a really talented young man, if you'd like to speak to him. He gold medal in extemporaneous speaking. If those aren't sure what that is, he's given a topic, and correct me if I'm wrong, you get about 7 minutes to prepare a speech. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
He quickly gets his phone, comes up with the details, and gives a 7-minute speech, and absolutely just did really well. Third last year at the state, and this year he won gold and got first place there. Very talented young man. He's going to have a bright future as well. And just think the school's got the opportunity to go on to the nationals. And that's all I have. You guys have anything you want to say? Alexis Booher was unable to attend. She's helping out at the middle school tonight. She took second place in a job skills demonstration where she did a field sobriety test, and she took second. She got a silver medal.
And if you want to stay here, I'm going to ask if Travis Rouse will come up. And joining Travis, Lauren Hensley. And you'll see we've got another gold medalist. And I'm going to ask Travis if you'll tell us a little bit about Lauren and her competition.
Okay, we've been flipping coins. She won in prepared speech. So I think she should speak. She should speak.
All right, Lauren.
Oh, man. Well, I had to prepare a 5 to 7 minute speech, and it was definitely very challenging. I've never had to speak before without having any notes or anything in front of me, so it was a challenge for me, but I'm very glad I went and did it, because it definitely will help me out in the future a lot.
And so you didn't have any notes tonight, you're doing it without any preparation, and look what a great job you did. And next, Mr. Carr, Lucas Carr. And I'd ask if Caden Ward would join him. And Mr. Carr, did you all flip a coin? Okay, then your tag, you're in.
So this is Caden's first year in Skills USA competition. He did computer programming. Caden is not new to computer programming at all. He's done some other competitions through some other venues and did very well. And did exceptionally well this time. Got first place in computer programming. So very proud of him and his accomplishment in this. And thanks to the school for giving him the chance to be next level. If you want to share about what you had to do, that would be good.
Okay, so we had 2 projects and 4 hours, which I know sounds like a lot of time, but it's really not. When you get in there and you actually understand what you're trying to do. We had user passwords that we were given. We had to encrypt those and then write those to a text file. And then we basically ended up making Power School on the second one. So we just got some grades. We had to average those out, make classes, get names, stuff like that. That's about it.
I think as you hear the students talk, I think it's very notable that these are not easy tasks that they're faced with when they go to these competitions, and they have no forewarning of what this task is going to be. When they get there, that is the first time they see that. So congratulations to all of our gold medalists, and I wish you the best of luck when you go to Atlanta for your national competition at the end of June. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we've got one more group that we want to recognize this evening. So I'm going to ask if Laura Beth Gibbons, Daisy Kendra, and Jessica Wyman will come up. Okay. All right, so I'm going to ask Ms. Wilburn to say a few things here in the absence of their sponsor in regard to their occupational safety and health competition in Coffee House.
Absolutely. I had the opportunity to witness these young women participate in the occupational safety handbook competition at the Skills USA state level competition in Chattanooga. They did a fantastic job, obviously medaling. They have done a lot of work working up into this point, and will continue to work moving forward. So I'm very proud of them, as well as our other Skills USA students who have represented West Richards.
Now, when we talk about medaling, we're also talking about a gold medalist here. So congratulations. Thank you for being here. Before I get to my last recognition, I would like to recognize those parents that are here of all the students that we've recognized tonight. If you'd stand up, please. Do we have any parents here? Yeah. Thank you for supporting our programs and your son, daughter, as they've gone through these competitions. It certainly means a lot to us, and I know it means a lot to them that you're there with them, so thank you. I have one more recognition this evening, and we have been very fortunate in our school district for the second year now in a row to have a Rhones Scholar named from Westridge High School. So at this time, I would like to ask Olivia Knopfnagel to join me up front. Congratulations. I'm gonna say a few things about the Rhones Scholar Program. The Rhones Scholars Leadership Program empowers students to be leaders of excellence who will positively impact the ETSU campus, the region, and the world. The Rhones Scholarship offers 4 years of unique, out-of-the-classroom experiences and opportunities designed to challenge and inspire students to grow and develop as leaders. The scholarship also includes a significant financial award for tuition and fees, room and board, and books. Olivia has done a stellar job throughout her high school career, but to name a few of her accomplishments, she has served as a student ambassador at Westridge for the past 2 years. She was crowned the 2022 Homecoming Queen. She is a member of the varsity tennis team since her freshman year. She is the secretary of the Key Club, a Beta Club scholar, a National Honors Society scholar. She also operates her own small business, Liv's Boutique. One of her teachers, a sponsor of one of the clubs, the ambassadors, had this to say about Olivia. Dr. Stephanie Kramer, who is the student ambassador advisor, said the following: Olivia is a true leader and the type of leader the work needs. Kind, empathetic, strong, intelligent, and active. She will continue to make an impact in college and beyond. As I congratulate Olivia this evening, I'm also going to congratulate her family as well. I would like to ask Olivia's family to please stand at this time so that we can acknowledge them. The Rhones Scholar Program is certainly a very high achievement for any high school senior. This year, there were 10 Rhones Scholars named across this region into North Carolina and Virginia. Ironically enough, all 10 Rhones Scholars this year are young ladies. That is a first for the Rhones Scholar Program. She will be at ETSU over the course of the next 4 years. And she will also, in addition to what she is going to experience on a day-to-day basis with her college coursework, she will also have many other opportunities via this program to travel and have other worldwide experiences. It is an honor this evening to congratulate Olivia and present her with her recognition for Rhones Scholar. It certainly is nice when our school district is recognized with a Rhones Scholar. Not only has she brought special recognition to herself and her family, but also to her school and her school district. Thank you very much. Jones, thank you very much, and board, thank you for indulging me in that time this evening to recognize all of our students. It is super special to be able to do that and to see the number of students that we've been able to recognize tonight and the height of their accomplishments. So congratulations again to the students, their teachers, our CTE administrators, and their families. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
We're going to just go back to unfinished business.
The first item on unfinished business is the Henry Harr property farmhouse property. And I want to apologize for whatever reason I can't get the agenda, or I can't see it on the board here. So give me just a minute to pull up my screen. I'm not going to be able to pull that up, so I'll try to do my very best from memory. So in the discussion in regard to the Henry Harr property, it is my recommendation this evening that we declare that property surplus. And in declaring that property surplus, that we, as the executive team, upon the final permit, have the ability to move forward in coming back with a proposal for the internet sale of that property. And in that proposal, what I would like to do is propose that we are able to sell that property with 3 different options. Option 1 being that we sell the farmhouse and garage as lot 1. Option 2 being that we would sell the adjacent lot as lot 2. And then the third option would be both lot 1 and lot 2 together as one combined piece of property for sale. So my recommendation tonight is that we declare the property, or that the board declare the property surplus, and that we move forward with those 3 different options, and that we also utilize the mechanism of an internet sale and advertise with that, much like how we handled the sale of the Colonial Heights Middle School property.
You've heard the recommendation that we declare these 2 lots on Henry Harr Road as surplus, and that once we receive the information back from the State Department concerning final approval, that we'll be able to sell it through the internet auction with lot 1 being the old farmhouse and garage and 1 acre of land, lot 2 being the adjacent acre, and then combining it together as a sale for 2 together, should someone want that. And I think we discussed in the work session that be advertised very clearly so that if they combined it, they would add 10% to the combined price of lots 1 and 2 if you wanted to bid them both of them together. So I'll entertain a motion to that effect, and then if you need to add something to the discussion, you can do that. So, we have a motion. Motion from Mr. Hughes that we declare surplus and enter into the advertising for sale through the end of auction. Do I have a second? Mr. Spivey seconds that. Any discussion?
Just a question. We discussed it in the work session, but I just want to sort of clarify of what we're actually planning. A lot of times you see those properties being auctioned off as one piece and the second piece, and then at the end, they'll put them both together and offer it as a third option to take it off. Are we going to do the same, where we offer just the 2 and then we do the third, or are we going to do all 3 at the same time?
Well, we would have it as 3 separate bids that you could bid on. Some people may want to bid on both of them and not bid on individual. So it will all be at the same time, but the final price on, if you combine them, would have to be at least 10% above option lot 1 and lot 2. And we'll clarify that in the, excuse me, we'll clarify that in the advertisement when we do it that way. But it would actually be all happening at the same time. That you can bid just on 1, you could bid on 2, or you could bid on lot 1, you could bid on lot 2, or you could bid on the 2 combined. But if you bid on the 2 combined, it would have the provision in there that you have to have 10% above the combined price.
So if someone's a high bidder on lot 1 and, or part 1 and part 2, but doesn't bid on 3, they still can get
They still got it.
without the 10%?
Yes, yes. They can do it both ways. Any other discussion? If not, roll call, Ms. King.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
Mr. Iverson,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Price,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Dr. Rouse,
Yes.
Mr. Spivey.
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is item 6B, which is the lease agreement for First Christian Church of Bluff City parking lot. We have discussed that, I believe, for the past 2 board meetings. The lease was reviewed during our work session. I recommend approval.
You've heard the recommendation that if we enter into the 20-year lease with First Christian Church of Bluff City, and that we prepaid upfront out of the 23-24 general purpose budget, we have a motion to that effect.
I make that motion.
Motion from Dr. Rouse, do I have a second? Second by Mr. Robinson. Any discussion? If not, roll call, Ms. King.
Mr. Iverson,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Price,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Dr. Rouse,
Yes.
Mr. Spivey,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is new business, item 7A, budget amendments. Item A is a general purpose school fund budget amendment. I'd like to take this one by itself as I have a change to that one. There are actually 5 items on this general purpose budget amendment. I would like to remove item number 1, and with the recommendation and your approval, approve items number 2, 3, 4, and 5.
You've heard the recommendation from Mr. Alpinowski that we approve this general purpose amendment here, excluding item 1 from the list. Mr. Iverson makes the motion.
I actually want to make a different motion. I'd like to make the motion that we approve item A as amended, but then add all of items B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and J together all in one vote. So item A as amended, the rest of them as stand.
I think that motion would be in order. I was going to recommend we do B through J separately, but I mean, not together as a group, but if we need to get a motion.
That's what's as amended, as she amended, so that's my motion.
Okay.
We do it as
Mr.
she
Iverson's
amended.
motion is that we adopt the general purpose fund amendment with the exclusion of item 1 out of that, but then we add items B through J to that. Dr. Rouse, is that?
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Iverson, second by Dr. Rouse. Any discussion? Roll call, Ms. King.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Dr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Spivey?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. Iverson?
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is item 7B, the 2023-2024 budget update. This is not an action item unless the board feels the need to have an action here. As part of this, and as I spent time, and I think several others discussed during our work session, what our current TISA April estimate is, and this is an estimate at this time. We still do not have our final TISA estimate. I also provided you with a copy of that. In addition, I provided you with a document that I received yesterday afternoon from Mr. Bailey, the budget director for Sullivan County, at 4:09 p.m. the projected local school revenues for 23-24. The most notable in this projection is in our current original budget. Our current property tax is at $21,206,701. The projection for 23-24 is actually a reduction of over $4 million in property tax at $17,050,000. There are some other adjustments throughout the local projections, but additionally, in the local option sales tax to highlight this in the current original budget, the approved budget was at $13,303,017 in local option sales tax. The projection for this coming year is $16,793,318. So the difference in the loss in property tax is being reflected in the increase in projection in sales tax. We spent a considerable amount of time discussing that earlier. At this time, and in light of this new information which I received yesterday afternoon, I have told the board that I do not have a prepared budget at this time. Moving forward, we will continue to work, but this certainly sheds a different light on our budget. Moving forward, at some point, I will notify Mr. Jones, and we will schedule a called board meeting to look and review our budget as we will bring to you as a proposal and move from there. But as of right now, I do not have a budget. And I think in light of the information that I got yesterday, and until yesterday, I did not have revenues at all. Ms. DeLoach and I, as well as Mr. Carter, spent a considerable amount of time this morning going through our budget projection for 23-24 as presented to us from Mr. Bailey yesterday. And that is the only comments I have at this point as far as item 7B goes with the budget update.
Let me interject at this point. Mr. Slagle, I'm glad you're here. I'd like to recognize you as a county commissioner being here. Appreciate it. We did discuss at great length, and maybe I dominated the discussion somewhat. And I do have a concern about losing $4 million of property tax, even though the bottom line figure is still pretty close to what it was last year. Can't call it that. But this board must approve a balanced budget. That's required by law. And the projected revenue has to come from the elected body. That means the county commission. And with the Financial Management Act, it comes from the budget committee, I believe, is the way it's set up. And Mr. Bailey, I don't know if they read and approved that or not, but this information we have did come from Mr. Bailey. One of my biggest concerns about it is what is going to be the impact next year if we lose $4 million in property tax revenue this year, because next year it may be down on the sales tax, and then we would be in really a bind. We could be in a bind this year, especially if we increase salaries. So look at those figures closely when you start thinking about working on a balanced budget. But do keep in mind that the state law requires that we have a balanced budget that goes back to the county commission, and we have no authority to change the projected revenue. County commission does have that authority to change the projected revenue, and should they change that projected revenue, they would communicate that to Ms. Ralphowski, and we would be able to make adjustments there. Part of this, again, is a security net. If we could get the property tax back to where it was and reduce the sales tax, that would provide security for the future. And we need to look to the future, especially since Governor Lee and the state legislature passed the state budget, saying that the beginning salary, I believe, in 2026 is going to be $50,000. We are $8,000 short, approximately $8,000 short of that now. And if we don't make provisions in this year's budget to start working toward that $50,000 minimum in 4 years from now, this board, whoever is sitting here in these seats, will really be in a bind of trying to meet that requirement from the state. And I will entertain any comments should anyone want to make comments, even though there's no motion on the floor. If there's any comments that you want to make on this item here, feel free to do that. And if not, come back to you.
All right, item 7C is a review of the facilities plan. We did speak in regard to that earlier this evening, and I do have a recommendation for this agenda item. My recommendation is that we take steps to update the master facility plan as follows. By utilizing current ESSER funding, I would like to expand the earlier studies of Sullivan East High School, Indian Springs Elementary, and Mary Hughes Elementary for renovation. Our earlier studies, which were completed in September, were confined to ESSER funds, which limited the scope of work for all 3 of those schools. I recommend we continue with a renovation plan for each school that will lead to moving forward with a bond request from the Sullivan County Commission.
You've heard the recommendation of Mr. Ralphowski that we enter into a study of 3 schools, Indian Springs Elementary, Mary Hughes Elementary, and East High School, and that they complete proposals for complete renovations of these schools, and then we bring it back to the board with an intent to fund from the county commission at a later date. Do we have a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Hughes makes a motion, do I have a second? I'll second the motion. Any discussion?
Motion to amend.
Okay.
I'd like to make the amendment that we add Sullivan Elementary School on the list to expand the ability to, we spoke about in the work session, basically the only school we have that has to transition outside to go to a lunchroom. If there's a shelter in place, they can't go to lunch. So there's a lot of issues there that I'd like to expand on and just add them to the study.
Okay. Mr. Howard makes a motion to amend it to include enclosure, some type of walkway or some type of enclosure to allow security for the students that are at Sullivan West, Sullivan Elementary, and or an additional building should there be a need for it. We leave it up to the architect to make that presentation. Do you accept that amendment, Mr. Hughes? Yes. And I guess I second that, so I'll second. Any discussion? If this passes, this will start into motion the final phase of master facilities plan. And Commissioner Glover, at the last financial management committee meeting, reminded me that we had not done anything to complete some renovations at East and Mary Hughes in particular, as was called for in the facilities plan. And I agreed with him that we had not finished that. But the master's facilities plan called for a intent to fund by 2025, I believe, for East, and a little bit earlier than that for Mary Hughes. So we're right on target, but I do appreciate Mr. Clever reminding me that we have not completed the master facility plan. And if there's no further discussion, I'll ask for a roll call on this motion.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Rouse?
Yes.
Mr. Spivey?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. Iverson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is item D, Innovative School Model Grant Proposals. I did cover those proposals during the work session. You did approve the grant funding before. I am making a recommendation to the board that we move forward with those proposals as I presented those this evening. Earlier this evening with the addition of a interior classroom at East High School. It would be what we term as a showcase classroom for STEM with the equipment needed. Also at West Ridge, an addition to the building for a construction lab. And our 3 middle schools to convert spaces there into STEM labs. The most significant in that proposal was at Sullivan East Middle that we enclose the porch in the front of the building, which will give us much needed square footage there for the robotics program. So it is my recommendation that we move forward, and I ask the board to approve those proposals as presented earlier this evening.
You've heard the recommendation, Mr. Outfit, that we move forward with these innovative school model grant proposals. The money is in place, and once it's approved, we will proceed with the plan for that. So we have a motion. Mr. Spivey makes a motion, second Mr. Price. Any discussion? Roll call, Ms. King.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Dr. Rouse?
Yes.
Mr. Spivey?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. Iverson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is item 7E, West Ridge driveway. This is not an action item, it was more of an update item for the board. Did bring your attention to, we're in the final permitting stage for that driveway at West Ridge High School, which would be another access to that campus from Henry Hard Road. So that, again, it's not an action item, but just an update. And Mr. Chairman Jones, the last 7F would be yours. Thank you.
May is the month for testing, and this is the Director of Schools' final evaluation. I gave you a form during the work session and asked you to complete that form for her evaluation and get it back to Mr. Hull or Ms. King, either one, by May the 18th. And this stuff is good.
You'll have to get rid of it if it's not. I would, with your permission, Chairman Jones, I would like to add one thing. And, you know, you mentioned the word testing. Our school district has just, we're very, very close to having all of our TCAP testing completed for elementary and middle school, our high school EOCs. We're now into AP tests for our high school students. There's lots of tests. We're also dealing with a field test that's coming to us from the State Department on ELA. We continue to present information and put information out in regard to 3rd grade reading. We do have a letter which I've sent to all of you that will go out to our parents on May 8th, which is next Monday. And in that letter, we are informing our parents of when we are being told that information is coming. And that first set of scores that we will get, or that we have been told we will get, is May 16th, which is a Friday afternoon, which is very typical of information coming from the State Department. They release it at 5, which means we get it at 6. So it is our intent to work that evening, work Saturday, do whatever we have to do to provide parents and families with the much-needed information that they're anxiously awaiting to get. We'll also be able to, hopefully, if things go as planned with the State Department, getting information to us, we'll be able to provide our parents with information in regard to the retake, if that's required. We also have our summer camps set up, ready to go. This staff has worked very, very hard on that. They get all the credit for that work. We also have a summer school program for our middle school and high school students this summer in June. But I think the letter that will go out from me on Monday shows our parents that we're going to be there for them. We're going to provide support and do whatever we can to assist them in the process moving forward and be there for our students as well. There's a lot going on in the month of May in school districts. So it's, I'm anxious for our school district, but I'm most anxious for our students and our families as we get that information back May 16th. Thank you.
Public comments on non-agenda items. I don't think we had anyone signed up for any comments there. Under my comments, the next board meeting will be on June the 8th at 4:30, work session, 6:30 for regular meeting, and there will probably be a call meeting prior to that. Maybe a couple of call meetings because it's going to be a tough budget. But be on standby for a call meeting at short notice. I think 5 days is 3 days. And it would be an emergency because with that, 11 years ago, my granddaughter, who you saw tonight, was here when I was sworn in. It's the second, I think she was in second grade. And I have to give the school system credit for a lot of what she became during those past 11 years. And just seeing her grow and maturity and everything else that has come through. And I have to thank teachers, classmates. That's just an example of what we see is a lot of things that she was a second grader. That's the last time she was here. I was sworn in and none of y'all one vote. It says a lot. Things change, but we have a lot to be thankful for with our school system, even though there's times that we complain and look at negative things. We had a lot of good products here tonight. We saw awards, we saw recognitions, teachers, and students. It just continues to amaze me. It makes me thankful for what we're here with ourselves. This time, Mr. Iverson.
Motion to adjourn, sir.
Anyone else want to make any comment?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second on that. We are adjourned.